all I saw was darkness. A gradual cone of light filled my eyes. My ears rang with the sound of gunfire, explosions, and the cries of the wounded. I stared down through a gaping hole in my arm, looking at the remnants of my radio, trying vainly to put it into operation, simply to report the attack. Instincts turned into action. We all survived that day, but it would take the 5 of us to completely assemble one human being. It required 13 surgeries and 4 years to fully salvage the remnants of my left arm into a version of its former self. But my recovery from those traumatic injuries has been lifelong. And I won't lie, the first years were dark. They were filled with depression. I was no longer the athlete or the warrior that I once was. There was help there. Well-meaning organizations break me out of Madigan there, took me out on a fishing trip. But I always returned back to the silent screams in my own mind. I had no purpose, no vision. I had no tribe. Then my wife tells me that she was going to climb Denali, the highest point in North America. This is a dream that we had shared together in the life that we had lived before I was wounded. And her statement was just that, a statement. Not an offer, not a suggestion, not even an invitation. And in that moment, she was stating that she was going to continue her life. And I had to make a choice. I had to re-enter the arena or sacrifice the life that we could possibly share together. In that moment, I realized I was selfish to wallow in my own depression. I had all the resources that I needed to recover, to figure out my new normal. I had a loving family. But I was not alone. There's so many other wounded out there with far more grievous injuries and far less available to them to figure out what their future potential may be. And so Operation Denali was born. Gail and I sought out a team of warriors who, like me, needed purpose. We brought them together. We formed as a team in Alaska, and we spent 12 days going over a glacial mountaineering course. Then over the next year, we went back and we trained together virtually, before it was a thing, and we went over our goals, our challenges, our logistics, our plans. And over the next summer, we came together, reformed as a team, and we completed the first Wounded Warrior Summit of Denali. We had refound our purpose. As the Adaptive Sports Director for the Wounded Warrior Project, I am still on that journey. And it is my mission to maximize the warrior experience for our most severely wounded warriors by empowering their independence in adaptive sports. But independence is not something that comes from a brief weekend outing. It requires a journey of commitment, of resilience, of discipline, one that is guided by mentors and supported by a caring community. So to guide that journey, the Wounded Warrior Project Adaptive Athlete Development Model is adopting a 5-stage adaptive athlete model that is based on the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center's American Development Model. This 5-stage model provides a progression for our warriors towards independence in sport by aligning the appropriate resources and level of challenge as a warrior develops as an athlete. In stage 1, we focus on our warriors who believe they can't even participate in sport at all because of the scope of their injuries. We break down their perceived barriers to participation, and we show them what truly is possible within the limitations of their injuries. Through active participation, those warriors gain in confidence and motivation to re-engage in sport, and then they progress into stage 2. Excited by that experience in stage 1, our warriors are ready to try just about anything. In stage 2, connection to community programs provide the opportunity for these warriors to explore multiple different sports, to hone in on what their interests are, with the guidance of local programs and with connection with mentors who look like them, who share challenges and similar injuries and interests in sport. They find more confidence, and they are able to hone in on that key sport that truly does inspire their confidence, that inspires their imagination, and stirs their passion. Having refined that sport and getting committed on that one line, they transitioned to stage 3. And in stage 3, those mentors are far more important. It continues to grow in value. And our warriors in stage 3 are starting to develop the skills necessary to perform in that activity. And with that comes the realization that commitment is essential to achieve what their own personal goals may be. They become hungry for information, trying to figure out what type of equipment adaptations are necessary to work around their injuries, what kind of training methods are out there to help them improve, and what other programs can they get involved in to develop as an athlete and to participate. They become integrated into a new tribe with this sport. They finally obtain that necessary equipment, and they develop as an athlete. A warrior progresses to stage 4. In stage 4, the adaptive athlete has developed enough skill of confidence and connection into their sport that they've achieved independence in sport. They're able to participate at their own discretion in these activities. And frankly, that's the culminating goal of our adaptive sports program. But in this stage, what we focus on is to foster a collaborative network of adaptive sport programs to ensure that the warrior maintains a continued long-term connection in sport, and that they pursue an active and healthy lifestyle through a well-coordinated and integrated sport opportunities and teams. At this point, some warriors will progress into stage 5. And stage 5 is what we refer to as living the logo. If you ever take the time to look at the Wounded Warrior Project logo, you see the image of a warrior carrying a fellow wounded warrior from the field of battle. Our warriors in this stage, having achieved independence in sport, they want to give back to the next generation of adaptive athletes. They want to carry them forward, if you will. Through their inspirational example and mentorship, they show these new athletes the art of the possible by their example. Their stories of success, they're essential to bring new warriors into the fold. But to fully activate this adaptive athlete development model, we need to establish 3 key goals that are not currently available to our warriors. First, we seek to establish a coordinated network of adaptive athlete mentors that we can connect to warriors that are early in their stage of athletic development. Because effective mentorship by an experienced adaptive athlete is a powerful tool in maintaining accountability like only a peer can do. It's also invaluable to keeping an adaptive warrior's motivation to train, that sense of guilt if they don't stand up to what their peer is asking them to perform. In stage 2, we hope to establish, the second goal, we hope to establish a geographically referenced community adaptive sport resource database to ensure a warrior has access to that key information I referenced when they need it. Adaptive sport programming, training, and equipping information is surprisingly hard for our warriors to find. One, because that information is unique to the warrior's injury, but even more so because it's compartmentalized across multiple competing adaptive sport programs. And last, creating the environment for our military and veteran adaptive athletes to flourish would benefit from a national coordinating body and a recurring symposium that's focused on reducing that competition and increasing collaboration with adaptive sport programs, thereby ensuring the sustainability of military-specific adaptive sport programs that integrate our warriors into the broader world of adaptive sports. By creating structure around these 3 key goals, I believe that we can replicate a version of the journey that the warriors who climbed to the summit of Denali with me, the path that they took. And we can provide the tools to new adaptive athletes, warriors just entering into the sport realm, and provide them the tools that they need to achieve their own personal summit of independence in adaptive sports. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.